fingertips go tap, tap, tap on my MPC, making this go. Uncle Johnny made my dress that she's blender, she looks a mess. Welcome to my new video. In the last video, I teased that I may do a video about my Beyoncé experience. And this is what I want to do. I want to talk about my Beyoncé experience. So basically, when Beyoncé released her Cowboy Carter album, I was on high alert. I was on super high alert, and I knew, because I could not go to the Renaissance tour because I was 17 and we had no money. I decided to save money for the upcoming tour. We didn't know when Beyoncé may release another album or if there's gonna be a tour, but it happened because I'm in the future and it was in the past. It happened, okay? And I'm gonna tell y'all my experience and I'm gonna show y'all a few videos and photos. So basically, I couldn't go to the Renaissance tour 2023 and I was crying. I was crying really, really hard when she was here in Germany. I was so sad that I couldn't go. I really decided, girl, you're gonna see her when she's gonna release the next tour dates. You're gonna see this woman, okay? So I saved for this whole year. I had 1,400 euros that I saved. But this was my first time planning something this big. It was only myself who could plan this because no one was really helping me. I mean, I could sure get some advices from people, but it was my decision because Miss Beyoncé Giselle Knowles Carter decided to not come to Germany for the Cowboy Carter tour. She said, okay, we're gonna do an American thing at first, and I was like, no, why only America? But then when she released these Europe dates and I saw, okay, she's coming to Paris, she's coming to London, I was like, I have to go there. I have to go there, no matter what, no matter what. So I decided to plan this big thing. First time flying all by myself. First time planning all of this with no help. It's literally crazy that I did this. I'm scared of heights. It was my first flight. There are crazy things that happened, guys. I think this was the greatest time in my life till now. So let me start at the beginning. When she released these tour dates, I was looking for Airbnbs. I had to decide if I'm gonna go to Paris or if I'm gonna go to London. The thing is with London that it's better because these people speak English, and in France it's more like these people don't really speak English. I decided to go to London and plan all of the things for London, and I looked for Airbnbs, and it took me so long because I wanted everything to be perfect. I was okay with really cheap Airbnbs. It was like a really small room. It was as clean as they could do it, but it was a really old house, but I was fine. I was fine with it because I could sleep, I could go out and go back in whenever I want to. The only thing I wanted to do is be able to sleep there and go to the toilet or whatever, so that I can feel more safe. But before I was booking all of these things, I first got me a ticket because it would not make sense to book anything before having a ticket. And I was like really confused because when we went to Ticketmaster and wanted to get hold down tickets, because everybody wanted to have the hold down tickets, it was really, really hard for us to get the hold down tickets because as soon as we went in, the tickets were gone. Like, you had to be lucky to get these tickets. It was a war, okay? And I did not get these tickets. I was really sad. I was really sad. But then I went to Viagogo because I wanted to have something cheaper but VIP. I don't know why, but my brain wanted to have something VIP because I was like completely lost. It was my first tour, but now I would not have VIP just because it's called VIP again. Because I couldn't get the hold-down tickets, I went to Viagogo and I saw that these hold-down ticket prices were so damn high. And then I decided, okay, good, if you want VIP because you want VIP, we're gonna look for the Sweet Honey Pits. But I heard things about the Sweet Honey Pits and I was like, if I'm not gonna be able to see Beyoncé, if I'm in a Sweet Honey Pit VIP, it's not gonna be good either. But I was really selfish and I thought, okay, girls, VIP. And then I went to Viagogo and looked for Sweet Honey Pit tickets. The point is, there were only VIP tickets released for the pits at that time. And I bought that ticket. It was a bit cheaper than on Ticketmaster, but it was 700 euros. And I mean pounds, but it's way more expensive than euro. I mean, a bit more expensive than euro, but it's expensive. It was really expensive. I mean, I had that money, but if I think about it now, I should have not done that. And then when I bought this ticket, I was so happy. I was really excited and I said, okay, girl, you did this now. So you're gonna look for Airbnbs and you're gonna look for flights. I looked for the cheap flights and the cheapest Airbnbs and I got an Airbnb and I got a flight. I did not care about having a good place where I can stay. It was, for me, it was only like, girl, you have to sleep there. You have to be able to shower there. And that's the only thing that I needed. I was like, it's about Beyoncé. It's about my time seeing Beyoncé. Then I decided to buy another ticket, South Standing. And this is gonna be crazy what I'm gonna tell you guys about South Standing. But hold on. So, when I got my Airbnb, my flight, and my Beyoncé tickets, it was still a while until it was time for the concert. And I was stalking Beyonce's shows, looking what she's gonna do and all of that. And I was really excited, really excited. And I bought like many things for the flight, you know, a big bag where everything fits in. My outfit, I bought an outfit. I can show you guys the outfit here. And it was crazy. I was so excited. I bought a hat and I realized many people had that hat because we tried to shop cheap. When the time came, and it was like only a few days until my flight started, I went to my best friend's apartment to Berlin, and I flew from Berlin to London. And when I was at the airport, I mean, one day before the flight, I was sick to my stomach because it was like first flight, first time really far away from Germany, alone, and I'm gonna see Beyoncé. This was crazy for me. This was crazy because I was scared that I'm gonna be lost in London and I'm not gonna find any way to where I have to be. You know, I had contact with many Beehive and they told me download the app City Mapper, and I did that, and this app was game changer. It helped me a lot. This was actually the only thing that could help me. When I was in the plane and I made it, I was happy that I made it in the plane, and I was like, okay girl, now relax, everything is gonna be fine. When I was in the plane, I was like, okay girl, you're scared of heights, yes, but this is gonna be great and you're gonna land safely, you're not gonna die. You know, I tried to calm myself down a bit. When this plane started to move, this was crazy, guys. This was the craziest thing I've ever felt, okay? I listened to the song Lift Off by Beyoncé. I listened to that song because I thought it's smart to listen to that song because it's like relatable to the situation. And when there was like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we have a lift off, the plane started to go up and I started to cry. Guys, the adrenaline in my body went like crazy and I had to cry because I was listening to that song. I was first time in a plane, scared of heights, you're flying, adrenaline was crazy and I felt free, guys. This was my first time feeling completely free because I was like, girl, You can do whatever you want. You're literally sitting in a plane on your way to a Beyoncé concert in London. Okay, so you're gonna be able to do everything that you have ever imagined, for real. And I was so happy and excited, and I was like, this felt so amazing, and I really had to hide my crying from that neighbor who sat next to me. It was really crazy. Okay, and when the plane landed, I first did not have any internet, and I had to wait for my phone to do the roaming and stuff. And then I was a bit lost because I didn't know that at the airport in London, the trains were like underground. I was so damn confused. I was looking for that train. I was using City Mapper, and I was like, girl, that train should be there, but there was no train. And then I was like, girl, it has to be like under you. But I didn't know where I should get down there. But I found it, luckily. I was like, it's okay, girl, you have time, you have time. But it was crazy because I was so confused. I was there for 20 minutes looking for that train. And this ticket was very expensive, but it was okay, it was fine. And I went in the train, and then I was driving to center London. Then I found a bus stop, and I went to the Airbnb. At first I didn't find the Airbnb door because it was not labeled, but it confused me a bit, but someone found me walking outside back and forth with her bags. But yeah, and then I was so happy that I was in my Airbnb, and a friend texted me and she was like, girl, I'm in London right now and the Beyoncé shop is open. So Ginny went to the Beyoncé shop that was in the stadium. So I went to the stadium and I was like, damn, that's so pretty. And I was in the London bus. It was all cool. I still have footage. And then I was really confused because I didn't know what shirt I should buy. I was really confused. But my style at that time was more like this. And sadly, they only had an M, and my size was S, but I did not want to have it too small. I wanted to have it more baggy, and this is definitely more baggy. And an L would have been cool as well, but I didn't buy this. I mean, I regret it a bit. I think having an L is better, but I'm happy with this. And then I decided to buy this girl. I really thought this would be cool, and I still have the bags that they gave us, you know, the plastic bags. I'm really happy with the things that I bought, but it was crazy expensive, really crazy expensive, but I saved so much money that it was completely fine for me. That was the day before the concert. I decided for the concert day, I went to see Beyoncé twice, you know that. So for the first concert day, it was the Sweet Honey Pit West show. And I was really excited, and I went there at 10 a.m. and already people from my Beehive group that I was in were there. We waited there for really long. It was raining a bit. Then when it was time to go in, I was really confused because I was at a VIP section. And as I said, guys, when I bought that ticket, there were only VIP tickets sold. There was no Sweet Honey Pit West normal regular ticket. I was like, okay, why is my ticket not VIP? Because they tried to look, but it was not VIP. And I was like, why is it not VIP? I mean, it was early entry. VIP was early entry. And they said, it's just not VIP. You have to go the other way. And I was like, guys, I don't know why, but I was crazy shaking because I paid 700 euros for a non-VIP ticket. Yeah, that guy scammed me on Viagogo, because why in the name would you sell a ticket, Sweet Honey Pit West, and it could have only been a VIP ticket because the regular tickets, the standard tickets, weren't out yet. Beyoncé released them after I bought them, like a few weeks after. And I was like, what in the name? This is scam. But I was like really scared because I was like, okay, but am I even able to get in somehow? And they said it's a standard ticket, so you have to go around the corner, this and that. And I was shaking. I'm a really emotional person. I started to cry, guys. But then I found the people, they saw me really being emotional and stressed. I was not crying at that time yet, but I was really stressed and confused. And they were like, hello, are you okay? And I was like, is this the Sweet Honey Pit West standard? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, so basically, and then I realized that they spoke German, and then I was like speaking German, and then I was like, okay, so basically, I got scammed, you know, on Viagogo. They sold me a ticket for Sweet Honey Pit West, and it was when the standard tickets weren't even out yet, and it made me really emotional. And they heard it that I was about to cry, and then they said, don't cry, and then I had to start crying because it was overwhelming. I paid 700 euros for a ticket that should have been a VIP ticket, and then I wrote Viagogo and they were like, oh, we cannot do anything. And this is what I'm gonna tell you guys: don't trust other ticket services except for Ticketmaster, because this is a original ticket selling site, okay? Because first the tickets are gonna be sold there from the artist, and if people want to resell the tickets, they do it on other sites. So trust Ticketmaster, even though it's really annoying, all annoying, but just trust Ticketmaster more than others, okay? And this was really crazy for me. It was really, really emotional and crazy for me. But then I realized, okay, girl, you're gonna see Beyoncé anyways. You're gonna see Beyoncé. And I was lucky that I was able to see her. And then we went in a few hours later because the people with the standard tickets had to wait a bit longer. When we went in, I was like really, really excited. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna see Beyoncé. My heart was racing, it was racing. And I have videos where Beyonce's publicist comes to the Sweet Honey Pit, and I was like, damn, she touched Beyonce. It was crazy. I was like, damn, she touched Beyonce. And they were like doing you know, modeling show who has the best outfit, and I was really shy. I didn't do it, but I was like really impressed because she chose people who should do the runway thing. And there was that guy with this beautiful red outfit. I can show you this outfit. And I filmed him. By the way, look on my TikTok or Instagram, because I posted everything. I posted all of my videos there, so you can look what I filmed. And this guy, I was impressed by his outfit. He made this outfit before the tour even was announced. He knew that Beyonce is gonna do a cowboy thing, so he made this outfit, and I was crazy amazed. He won this show, he won this talent show, and you deserve it. You deserve it. When it was time for Mother to come out, my heart was, it was racing like crazy, and I was like breathing really heavy, and there were these people from Houston, Texas next to me, and we were speaking, and they were like, yeah, we're from Houston and this and that. And it was, you know, it was a mother with her daughter. I have a video with them here as well, or you can look on my Instagram. And yeah, we were like screaming, we were like excited. And then when Beyonce came out, I was crying. I was filming myself with the Snapchat camera, because on Snapchat you can film yourself and what's in front of you, and I did that. And I was like breathing like and then I was like starting to cry, like tears were coming down. And then I was hearing, it was so loud, I heard this voice, and I was like it was crazy. This was crazy to hear her voice. Oh, I was impressed. By the way, guys, I wanted to mention the first show I was at was the show where Rumi started to cry because she was so overwhelmed and emotional on stage, because her mother was singing a song for her and she was like crying. I have a clip for that I can show y'all. I had cowboy boots on and my feet were dead, and I had mid of the show I had to take them off and I was like one size smaller. But yeah, because at the Sweet Honey Pit people were like really big in front of me and the stage was really high. It was really hard to see anything, but the screen was there, this was good. But the only thing that really annoyed me was that the stage was so high that you could not see these people. You could not see Beyoncé, you could not see Blue Ivy that often. But when they came there, I was like, oh my God! And Beyoncé was flying over us. It was crazy, it was crazy. And it was really, really amazing. I was crying at the end when I realized what you just experienced, girl, is something other people would love to experience as well. And it's crazy that you're experiencing that right now. And I realized that and I cried for the whole end of the show. And yeah, then when I wanted to walk home, when the show was over, I didn't even want to go. I was like, stage, I love stages. I'm obsessed with stages. I'm like analyzing the whole stage, looking, okay, what is there, what is there, what is there? And I love stages, guys. I love stages. I'm a singer. I love stages. I love everything. I see that Beyoncé is such an amazing, crazy, talented woman. I see what she's doing with her production. I'm always shocked about the production, guys. So when I went home, I mean not home, but to my Airbnb, I couldn't walk. It took me almost 30 minutes to get to the nearby bus stop. That was like, I had to go through a park and then the bus stop was there, but I couldn't walk. My shoes were already in my hands and I couldn't walk. I can show you guys how I was walking. I couldn't walk faster because it was so painful. I had to walk like this. So it took me like 30 minutes to get to this bus stop, but it was not even far away, guys. Then I got home and I was looking at the videos and I was like, oh my God, girl, you're gonna see her again. Maybe this time it's gonna be better. And guys, it was better. Let me tell you guys. So the next day after the first Beyoncé show, I had a day free. So I was going to the stadium again, looking in the shop. And I guess at that time I bought this queen. I did, because I was able to just look at London, but I was only at the stadium and not really sightseeing. But I should have done that, but I was really tired and my feet were hurting, so I just wanted to chill. The day after was the concert, the next concert, and I was really trying to recover from the first one. And then, guys, I decided to wear other shoes because I could not wear these boots again because this was destroying me. Let me tell you guys the story. It was definitely a crazier story. So the second concert, I went there at 5 a.m. because I knew that South Standing will be full. So I decided to go really, really early, and I could have went there earlier, but I was there already. People were sleeping there the day before, the whole night. And I was like, okay, guys, this is crazy. But I was like the 10th or 11th person there. And the girl who was like next to me, she was German as well. She moved to London a few years ago, and I was like happy that I had her and I could talk to her. And we were like having pens and trying to number the people, giving them a number so we can go to the toilet and we can go wherever we want and not disrespect each other. So that's why we gave everyone a number, and it was really cool because it was like family, Beehive family, and we're supporting each other. They were having such amazing outfits. Beehive, you guys have amazing style, for real. Me and that girl, we went to the store, we bought food and everything, we went to the toilet together, and it was cool, definitely. And then when the time was about to come for us to be let in, it was like 1 hour away. I said, oh, I have to go to the toilet, and I was asking the security guard, when are they gonna let us in? Because I have to go to the toilet. And he said 1 hour. So I went to the toilet, and their friend called me and said, girl, they're letting us in. Guys, I was sprinting from that store to the, I was like, I was crying again because I'm an emotional person. I was crying and I was panicking, and then they took my stuff and I went, where's my stuff? And she was like on the phone with me and she was like, girl, are you able to come through these people? I was no, because after the security check, the security guard looked at me and, why are you crying? I was like, because I went to the toilet and then they let us in earlier. And then we were trying to get in. I was like, guys, I was here at 5 a.m. And then some people let me go through, and they were so nice, and they were like letting me go through. But I still didn't make it to my friend. When we were in, I was trying to just run as fast as I can. There was like one bracelet that I did not get because I didn't see the people who should give it to me. And then I was like running back and forth, stadium out, stadium in, because I didn't find these people. And then they said, you have to get in. There were like people going through without the bracelet. I was like, but they were going through as well. Why can I not go through? And they were like, they have to, they will be sent back. So just get the bracelet. I was like, oh God. Okay, and then I found them, ran to them again, and then I was like calling her and saying, can you wave, can you put your hand up, because I was like really much in the back, like I think 3 rows is not that much, but 3 rows. And then she was waving her hat, her cowboy hat. Then I was like, guys, my friend is there and I was here at 5 a.m. Can I go through? And I told all of these people that, and then they let me through, and I was next to my friend. Guys, I was next to my friend. And when I was there, we were like so happy that we were together and that I made it, and these people were so nice, and it was super, super hot, and I was fanning myself off because I was hot, okay? We waited. I was looking at the sound engineer, you know, testing the mics, and I was like, oh my God, sound engineers. I'm like obsessed with stage things. Like I was like, oh my God, a sound engineer, that's Beyonce's sound engineer. He has Beyonce's mics, he's holding them. I was like stalking the sound engineer, and every time he came near us, we were like, ah! And then there were these people who took pictures of us. These people, you know, when they took pictures of us, I had a banner where I wrote this on the banner, and I was holding it up when they were there, and you could not see my face. And I was like, when I saw this post on Beyonce's website, I was like, girl, are you fucking dumb? Are you dumb? You could have been with your face on the website if you would have not held that thing on your face. But it's okay. We're learning from our mistakes. Next time I'm not gonna do that. When the lights started to light and I heard the doom, I was like, oh my God, she's gonna come. And maybe I'm gonna, like, I was in the front. I knew that this girl would be in front of my face. I knew it. And guys, when she came to the front, this mother, this queen, when she came to the front, I was on the phone with a beehive, and I was showing her Beyonce, and he was like, and this was crazy. This was really crazy, like for real. That was when she sang Freedom. She came to the front for the first time. And the crazy thing is, I was full of adrenaline the whole show. The money canoe things that Beyonce had, like with the money that was like coming out, I was not catching money, but I was like, we were to the security guard, we were like, can you give us money? He was like trying to give us money, and then like a other worker came and said, don't give the money, don't give the money. It was not real money, it was Beyonce money, but we wanted to have it. And then I was like, please. I was like, please give me. And he was like, looking at me like, I want to give you that money, but he says that I cannot give you the money. And I was like, please. And then he gave it to me, and I was like, I was happy. And I was filming Beyonce, I was filming her, I was looking at her, and this woman did crazy things. She was looking at me, and I was like, I couldn't even scream, I couldn't even do anything. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. I mean, you can look on my Instagram or I will blend it in, but I cannot use the original music because of copyright. But this woman looked at me a few times and I was like, whoa. I mean, sure, she could have looked to the people behind me as well, but let's just be delusional because what else should I do? So I was at the second concert, I was the happiest woman. Okay, I was the happiest person. I mean, sure, the other people were happy too, but I was like definitely happier than at the first show, even though I was already happy crying the whole time. But I was like, oh no, it's over. I was like crying again. I was always emotional when I was rewatching my videos and photos. I was really emotional, and I, spoke with my friend in Berlin about the experience that I had, and it was amazing. It was really amazing. I have videos, so many videos, as I said, on my Instagram and TikTok, guys. You can look. And yeah, so if you have any questions about anything that I just said, write it down in the comments and I will answer, I promise you. And I could answer some questions on TikTok as well and on Instagram, whatever. I use TikTok way more than Instagram to make videos, or I can answer in a short on YouTube as well. So if you have any questions or any ideas what I should do, for videos, write it down in the comments. But this experience was crazy. So God bless you guys. Have a great day.